Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. Welcome to the Read Workspace onboarding. We'll give everyone just a few minutes to dial in, and then we'll get started. And throughout the presentation, if you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the chat. So we'll just give another minute or so. All right, I think we can get started. Well, hi everyone. My name is Kelly. Thank you for joining us today. I'm on the customer success team here at Read. So the purpose of today is we'll be going over workspace onboarding and reviewing all things workspace related. As I mentioned, if you do have any questions throughout this conversation, feel free to drop those in the chat. But hopefully you find this informative and can help you with setting up your own workspaces. So to get started, let's review. Well, first of all, this is our agenda for today. We'll review what a workspace is, key benefits, workspace settings and features, and then we can end with some Q&A. So for starters, what is a workspace? Workspaces bring together multiple people in the same organization who are using Read. One of the main features of Read's paid plans, which is Pro Enterprise or Enterprise Plus, can have a workspace. Workspaces provide a whole suite of features designed to enhance collaboration and improve productivity for your organization. Workspaces make it easy to share and discover information across members of your organization and to gain insights about the meeting patterns and behaviors for different groups in your organization. Importantly, workspaces also allow organizations to centrally configure Read, controlling things like default user settings and billing. Some key benefits of workspaces include centralized collaboration. So workspaces bring together multiple people in the same organization, making it easy to share and discover information, meeting reports, insights, etc. Administrative control and security. Workspace owners and admins can centrally manage settings, permissions, and integrations for all members. Simplified billing and licensing. Organizations can manage licenses and billings from a single account. Analytics and insights. Workspaces provide organization-wide and team-level analytics on meeting patterns, engagement, and behavior. Customization and integrations. Admins can configure default settings, enable or disable features, manage integrations, and so on. And easy user management. Workspaces allow for onboarding, role assignment, and the ability to search, add, or remove members efficiently. So next, we're going to walk through how to create a workspace and then how to best utilize a workspace and all of its features. So for starters, you're going to want to first sign up for a Read account if you don't have one. If you do already have a Read account, you're going to want to go to the left-hand corner where it says your username, and you can navigate to the plan and billing page. So under the license usage, it's going to show you how many licenses were purchased for your workspace and how many licenses are available to still allocate to users. So for example, 1 of 9 licenses are in use for my current workspace. If I needed to add more licenses, I can go here and add on additional licenses. Additionally, if I need to ever remove licenses, I can also go to remove licenses. Now we'll create a workspace by going right here. So you're going to want to name your workspace. This can be named after your organization. It can be named after a specific team who will be utilizing the workspace. However you want to name your workspace that best fits your needs. I'm just going to name mine test. Then you're going to click next. So first, you're going to be prompted to create a team. Creating teams within a workspace is optional, but teams can be used to seamlessly share access to reports. So you can skip this step, but if you do ever want to go back and create teams at a later time, you can always do that. So I'm going to create a team. Next, you're going to want to invite members to join your workspace. So here you can type in their email address. If you do have teams, you can add the team, and you can also assign users to their different role. I'll go into this in a bit more detail on the next page. So for now, I'm not going to actually invite anyone. Here, Reed's going to ask you to review the workspace default settings. This is just going to be a really high overview of all of the available settings that you can enable or disable for your workspace. We're going to go through this in a bit more detail. Same for this page. Here you can see at a high level overview all of the different integrations that are available. If you want, from this page, you can toggle on or off any of these available integrations, but at a later time, we'll also go through that in more detail as well. So now my workspace is officially created. So going into the People tab, here is where you can invite members to join your workspace. You can also assign different roles to users within your workspace here as well. So an overview of the available roles within a workspace include the owner, who is responsible for billing and managing the workspace. Next, you have an admin, who is also responsible for managing a workspace and managing any settings that you have in place. They can also invite users to join a workspace. You also have a manager who can have team oversight. And then lastly, you just have a user, which is your basic access to joining a workspace. So within this page, you can also manage access within the workspace as well. So here you can manage licenses by adding or removing individuals. So for example, you can click here. I could deactivate a user. If a user was deactivated, I could reactivate that user, meaning if their license maybe isn't active for that moment, maybe that user is not actively using Read and you want to allocate that license to someone else, I could decide to deactivate this user. That would keep them within the workspace, but they wouldn't be able to actively log in and utilize Read in that way. At that time, I could then assign their license to someone else. I can also reactivate a user. I can transfer reports if someone is leaving a workspace and I want a different individual to have access to those meeting reports that that user owned. And then I can also remove individuals from the workspace here as well. You can also use the status tool to search for active members, any members who have pending workspace invitations who have maybe not accepted a workspace invitation yet. And then you can also search by deactivated users as well. And then last but not least, if you have a lot of users within your workspace and it's hard to scroll through and look for every user, you can also search by name or email as well. And last but not least, you can also view user activity within this page. So you can see when a user last logged in, if they're a member of any team, when they were last active within the workspace. So again, this can help you manage who is actively using Read, who's actively using their license, if they're actually signing into the Read page, and so on. Next, we're gonna jump over to the settings page. So this is a centralized location for settings within your workspace where you can adjust different join preferences, different integrations that you want set within your workspace, if you want to customize how your assistant is displayed for your workspace, all of that and more. Within this page, you can also restrict and enforce certain settings so that all users within your workspace have to follow that specific setting that you have in place. This can help workspace users, make sure that all of the settings in place align to the rules that are set within your organization. My recommendation would be if you don't have any strict preferences on how your workspace is being utilized by Reed, I would recommend keeping these settings as is and not changing them. However, if you do have strict settings in place, absolutely come in here and enforce those settings. So some important callouts for how to manage how Reed is joining your meetings and how Reed is being used by the workspace users. I like to call out the join preferences. So for example, if you want to set your workspace where Reed can only join when it's manually added to a call, you can enforce that here. Otherwise, you can set it where Reed can join every single calendar invite for the workspace users. You can also dictate if you only want Reed to be able to join all meetings or internal meetings. So these are just some examples of different ways you can go through all of the different settings and permissions. Like I was mentioning earlier, you can go through the different integrations. If there are certain integrations that you know that you do not want your team to be able to connect with, you can always toggle those off. So for example, if I don't want anyone being able to connect on Jira, I can toggle that off. And what this is doing now is any user within my workspace no longer has the ability to integrate with their Jira account. So I definitely recommend going through all of these settings and just making sure that your workspace is set up in a way that best fits your organization's needs. Next, we have an additional security feature that's available for Enterprise Plus customers. So these additional security features include things like data retention policy, domain capture, and SAML support, which can help manage read access to users who are outside of your workspace. And again, that's only available for Enterprise Plus subscriptions. If at any time you need to transfer ownership of your workspace, you can do that within the workspace actions. So for example, if you signed up for Reed as the workspace owner and at a later time decide that this is not the right role for you or you won't be using Reed anymore, you can always transfer ownership to someone else within your workspace. Oops. I'll go back there. Additionally, if you are joining a workspace and let's say you've been an active member using Reed for some time, if you want to migrate over any past reports from before you join the workspace, you have the ability to do that here under Workspace Actions. So what that will do is this will bring in any of my past reports when I had an account previous to joining the workspace. It will bring that into the workspace to make that available for any team or collaboration data. And then lastly, I wanted to touch on under our permissions, a feature called global access. So workspace owners and admins have the ability to toggle this feature on. Global access will allow users to have the ability to view any report that's within their workspace. So once this is enabled, the users can view any report by going to their reports page and looking under the My Meeting reports. So next, we're going to touch on collaboration. So this is a key benefit of utilizing workspaces. So as mentioned earlier, you can share reports automatically through any team usage if you create teams. And you can also share reports manually at the workspace level. So within any report, you'll always have the ability to share that report. And you can share it, like I mentioned, with individuals, but you can also share it with your entire workspace by just clicking on the share report and then typing in the name of your workspace. So going back to the For You page, a few key collaboration pages that I would recommend using are the Your Workspace page. So this page will provide an overview of what's happening within your workspace across any shared meeting report. So again, if you want to compile data at a workspace level, any report that is shared with your workspace will pull up into this tab and will provide you with a page filled with data and insights of what's actually happening within your workspace based on those reports that you've added. Another page I want to highlight is the Workspace Overview page. So this page will provide aggregate trends across your workspace, such as total number of meetings, average duration of meetings, busiest meeting days, any other high-level metrics. So this data won't be tied to individual meetings, meeting details, but it will reflect overall patterns within your workspace. And access to this page can be configured within the workspace settings permissions. So it can be configured for admins, managers, or users. So it's really important to note that using a workspace can really encourage collaboration in a lot of different ways. Users can easily share meeting reports, whether that's through a team or through a workspace setting. You can share transcripts, action items, things like that. And what this will do is this will ensure that important information and follow-ups are accessible to everyone who needs this information and can reduce silos and improve transparency across your workspace. Another key new feature that Read has is our new Search Copilot. So this is a powerful tool that will surface knowledge and insights across your own data, but also across your own workspace. So it will show you data within your workspace that's been shared with you. So for example, if I want to see what's going on across a team that I'm on, if that data has already been shared with me, I can ask a question into Search Pilot saying, what's new and happening in the client success team. As long as those reports were shared with me, it will be compiled and pull up under my Search Copilot results. So this is another really good way to search for information across the different teams and data that's been shared with you. So then going back into the workspace settings, so we've spoken a lot about the different teams and how this can be used in different ways to share data. So as mentioned earlier, you can create a team. So you can name that customer success, for example. Here I would invite users to join. You can see a running list of every individual who's within your team as well. And then you can always add new members to the team as well. So now we've gone through all of the basics of creating a workspace, different sharing capabilities within a workspace. We do have some time for Q&A now. If anyone has specific questions, if they need help setting up a workspace, anything like that, I would be happy to answer any of those questions. So let's see. If you want to just pop those in the chat, we can go through any questions if you guys have them. Otherwise, hopefully you guys found this helpful. walking through creating a workspace and have more of a clear understanding now of how you can leverage the different features that are available.
Hey Kelly, we do have one question. Um,
Okay.
how does the workspace membership affect the notifications via Teams? Where do such notifications go? Can a person receive any notification about their own action items that were assigned to them?
Um, that's a great question. It should be linked to the individual. So if it's their own team's account, they should still be able to get their own personal action items. I don't think that being in a workspace should affect that.
Awesome, thank you. And then one other, not question, but just a comment of someone saying that they wish we had a desktop app for Read to bring it up quickly. Do you know if that's in the roadmap at all?
Interesting. I haven't heard of a desktop app being on the roadmap yet, but that's definitely something that we could take back to our product team. If you have any additional information or use cases of why that would be helpful versus just going to the URL page, that would be really helpful for us to share for whoever asked that question.
Awesome, thank you.
No problem. Any other questions that I can help with? So the question is, can we invite people outside of our group to the workspace? So yes, you can invite people from different domains. So to join your workspace. So for example, if I'm at a read.ai email domain and I want to invite an individual with a Gmail domain, we can all be a part of the same workspace. Yes. They would just first need to sign up for a Read account and then you could invite them to join. Good question. The question was someone from another read.ai domain. That was just an example. That's what my email domain is, but just saying that you don't have to have the same email domain to be a part of the same workspace, if that clarifies things. Any other questions we can help answer in real time? Otherwise, I don't know, Megan, do we want to, yeah, do our giveaway? Awesome. Janice, you are the winner. Congratulations. So we'll reach out to you via email with your subscription. Congrats, Janice. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Again, if you have any questions, if you know any additional questions about your own personal workspace setup, you can feel free to reach out to our support team, and we're happy to help answer any questions you might have. But otherwise, hopefully, you know, you can create your workspace and find different ways to use Read, and hopefully it will make an impact in your meetings. So thank you again, everyone. I'll give everyone 5 minutes back. But it was nice getting to chat with you all. Have a good one, everyone.